final score between a Steph Curry-less Warriors team and a completely discombobulated Rockets team, 114-81. An absolute disaster of epic proportions for non-clutch cities, I'm going to call them now. From the conference finals to a first-round exit in 1 year, new coach. Do you give GM Daryl Morey another shot to rebuild this team, Noah Kone? Because he was, if you look back 3-4 years ago, he was the hottest name in front offices in the league.
I wouldn't. And
No.
it's only because it's not clear to me what it is he wants to do with the pieces he's acquired.
Yeah.
He's gone out and acquired some great pieces individually, but how that all comes together is yet to be seen. And even though that team went to the conference finals last year,
Yes.
I think they were playing above their punching weight. And so I think that year kind of gave him another year of life that maybe he shouldn't even had this year. So I just don't know. I don't buy into whatever he's putting together.
Okay, so who are we blaming, though? Does more of the blame lie with Daryl Morey, or how much do you put on JB Bickerstaff? Because from what I've seen and heard from JB Bickerstaff, he's really tried to get these guys to play. As a coach, I'll go to you, Coach Larry, because, you can identify with getting thrown a bunch of guys who really don't mesh.
I think that's the challenging part. As a coach, it's hard to criticize because you can second guess and armchair anyone. But
well, I don't have a problem criticizing, so I'll go ahead and say it.
But I think a lot of the issue, the game winner Harden hits when you have a whole team that's just kind of disinterested and everyone's standing up, just kind of looking around. You have zero chance. I think the culture is shot. I think you have to implode it, and I think you almost have to start at the top and kind of start and build it back up because clearly that's just isn't just a
I want to know what you'd get for James Harden.
What? Is that an option? Is that something you would put on the table?
I think I would.
I agree.
Really?
I agree.
It's worth a look.
I completely disagree with you guys, but I had another question loaded, and it's, can James Harden be a leader, or do you need to bring someone else?
Unless he goes to leadership school, maybe.
What's leadership school?
I don't know.
I thought Oklahoma City was leadership
He needs to
school.
go to camp or something. But he's not a leader, right?
Okay.
And you see that.
Okay, but would you at least keep him and bring in a veteran guy? When I think of the type of guy I feel would help this team is a Tyson Chandler kind of guy. A guy who's coming in not for shots, but to really structure the way a team and a group of men behave. Would you then keep James Harden if you had a piece like that?
Tyson Chandler's interesting too, though, because when the going got tough in Phoenix this year, he's like, I don't want to be a part of no rebuilding.
Time out. You really holding that against Tyson Chandler?
No.
This is a guy
but
who
I'm just saying,
was sold a
maybe
bill of
that's
goods.
not the best example.
I put him along the lines of the Joakim Noahs, the Kevin Garnett's, the guys that really structure locker rooms.
I don't put him in that category.
I think you need a Tyson. And not to cut you off, as poor.
Cut him off. Who cares? He's from Portland.
As poor of a defender as he is, Tyson is great at cleaning up. Harden doesn't guard anybody. He just lets you go right back. And I think when you build a team from a leadership standpoint with a guy that's a one-way guy, not a two-way guy, you start looking at him and you say, I'm not going to listen to this guy that scores twice as much as anybody else on the team, doesn't guard a soul, and then is frustrated at the end of the game saying, I'm not getting enough shots.
It's
so I think
so hard defensively to make up for the point of attack being so far at the top. You're compromised so much when the guard gets broken down that easily.
Straight lines.
I don't know. I understand leadership being an important quality and locker rooms need that, but the guy averages, 76 points a game. At some point, somebody around him has got to go, this guy's leading by example. He's at least doing his part.
There's that point, too.
Let me
And
put
that's
my
why.
hard hat on.
But it's
Nobody goes back to the Celtics teams of the 80s and says the guy that was on the last part of the bench was the reason why Larry and McHale and Robert, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no.
So it's important, but it's like a balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think Harden's time in Houston, I think they should take a look at what their options are.
Oh, my goodness. Please do not trade James Harden. Do not listen to anybody on the couch. None of them are coming back.
1 through 12, you got to take a look.
Okay, all right.
No question.
Let's switch it up, though. We got to talk about something else that happened on the floor other than the game between the Warriors and the Rockets. And that was the awarding of the Coach of the Year, which went to Steve Kerr, oddly enough. Steve Kerr didn't even coach the Warriors for the entire season, and he didn't even coach them for their best stretch of basketball when they went, what was the record, 25-0 or something like that?
24-0.
24-0. So my question is, would you give a player MVP if he missed 30-plus games of an 82-game season?
It's really a coaching staff award, right?
Is it?
So I think so, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Luke Walton was on the ballot. He was actually on the ballot, and he got votes.
True, but Steve Kerr had the best season in the history of the NBA.
He wasn't there for the best part of it.
How do you not
He was
reward
literally
that?
in a hospital for the part of the season where they played the best.
The best part of it would be the end when it was the toughest part to do.
But the end would have been possible without the start.
So how do you justify when you lose your best player and continuing to sustain that record, with him being able to navigate?
Wait, time out. When did they lose their best player? In the playoffs.
Yes.
This is a regular season award, guys. Come on.
Sure.
So, wait, if you had a vote, would you have given it to Steve Kerr, Terry Stotts, Dwayne Casey, Greg Popovich? You're really picking Steve Kerr, a guy who missed 30 games?
Best coach for the best team in the NBA that set the best regular season record, whether he was de facto on the bench or not. You don't know what's going on in the hospital with phones.
Yeah, you probably just wanted in case you miss games next year.
That might be even better. We might win more games.
Yeah,
73 games.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm with you on being a purist. Like, I'd love to see Casey or Clifford or Stotts get in the mix, but let's just be real, man. Like,
I'm being real.
Numbers are numbers. If a guy misses 30 games in the NBA season, but he averaged 42 points a game,
he's not getting MVP.
he should get MVP.
But is he going to?
Because when he was there, he did better than anybody else. And that's what Kerr demonstrated. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing else to, like I said, I'm on your side with, like, let's give it to a guy who was there the whole season, who had this much improvement. But, like, the team was record-breaking. You can't argue with it. It stops there after that.
Okay, cool. All right, so I guess we're all
3 against 1, buddy.
That's it.
Okay, let's set up the Thunder versus the Spurs. This is a big series. I mean, I'm excited. Will this be the best series of the 2016 playoffs?
It'll be the best series until I think the finals. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Why is that so surprising? I don't think the Golden State series against whoever they play, the Clippers or Portland's going to be much of a series. I think Golden State wins that pretty handedly. So,
okay, Noah, agree, disagree?
Well, I think Portland's going to beat the Clippers and then beat the Warriors and go to the finals and shock.
That was delusional.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
That was delusional.
They said I was delusional when I said the Blazers are going to make the playoffs, man. Whatever. But anyway, I think the Spurs and Thunder will be the best series.
Yeah.
Hands down, this is an exciting matchup.
Yeah.
Someone once told me, Coach Blunt, that if Greg Popovich was coaching the Oklahoma City Thunder, hands down they win an NBA championship. Do you believe that?
Do not. Contrasting styles, contrasting players.
You don't think he can utilize those guys to the best of their abilities?
I think, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's great at what he does, but I just think the front office and the Spurs, there's no contest. Those two teams are completely different there.
Okay, all right. Who has the advantage in the matchup between Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant? Randy?
I always go with the offensive player because the offensive player knows what they're going to do before the defender is always reacting. And usually it's okay to go for a guy like Kawhi because he is so gifted, but Kevin Durant can do anything he wants on the basketball court, right?
So where are you?
I'm leaning towards Kevin Durant.
Okay, about time you said something intelligent. All right, let's go, Noah. Your turn.
Nobody has the advantage.
Your turn to disappoint me.
Yep, here I come. Nobody has the advantage.
No one.
Nobody.
Okay, all right.
Just,
Coach. Coach.
I'm going Kawhi. Strength to get up under him. I like him. I love his grit.
All right, who you got and how many, Coach?
That's a tough one. I would have to say I'm going Spurs because you can't go against Pop. I'm going 6.
Okay.
I think I think the Rush show finally takes off and they get back to the finals. So I think OKC in 7.
Yeah, baby. Who you got?
Spurs or OKC in 7. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, with that being said, we're going to go to break. Randy's off the show. He won't even be on the couch when we return.
I'm like,
if anyone wants to know who I got Russell Westbrook in 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Doesn't matter. Hey, shout out to this Prince tribute that Mr. Peyton Westbrook did. We miss you, Prince, but I'm picking the Thunder all day, baby. Hey!